It's that time again. It's that time to do some goal setting. Hey, this is Wendy Cannin, Executive Brand Director with Tula XII. And I'm super excited to be sharing with you guys some fun goal setting tips and tricks that you can use in your own life, lifestyle, etc. We're going to be talking about some different steps that you can walk through in order to create a goal. And then I'm going to show you a fun insert you may not have thought about to help move your goal forward. This is going to be somewhat directed towards direct sales. So if you are in direct sales or small business, this is something that will probably resonate with you. Let's hop right in. It is that time of year where everybody's thinking about New Year's resolutions and setting goals, creating word of the year, etc. This is a prime opportunity for you to start thinking about what ways you can go about achieving your goals. Setting goals can be very scary. It can be something that pushes you outside of your comfort zone. And it's super important that when you are going about the goal setting process, that you're being very thoughtful, realistic, and that you are giving yourself a chance to really think through the process, creating action steps, and those kinds of things as you go along. So let's start at the very beginning. The first thing you're going to want to do is create a goal. And we want this goal to be SMART. SMART stands for specific, measurable, achievable, relative, and time sensitive. Let's talk about each of those steps. First, S. S stands for specific. When you are setting a goal, you really need to walk through each of the steps to make sure that you are giving yourself all of the information in one goal. You can't just say, I want to save money. Okay, how much money do you want to save? By what time frame? These are important questions that you want to ask yourself when you are setting your goal. Second of all, measurable. That's the M. Is it something that is measurable? Can you say whether or not you have achieved it? Can you actually pinpoint those things that are making it happen so that you can measure those action steps that you set in place? Are you giving it an amount of time? Let's say you want to save money. How much money do you want to save? If you want to save an extra $500 a month, how are you going to measure that? Are you going to be able to track it? Are you going to be able to see it in your bank account? Are you going to have a savings account for it? Is it something that you're going to be just doing digitally, or are you going to actually have full cash? That's the measurable part, something you can track and keep track of. The next one is A, achievable. Achievable, friends. Yes, you can set big, hairy, scary goals, put them out there, put yourself in a place where you might feel a little bit uncomfortable, but is it something that you can actually achieve in the time frame that you set? Maybe you want to purchase a new house. That's something that's achievable. Purchasing it in the next 3 months, if you don't have any money for savings, no down payment, you don't know what house you want to buy, probably not very achievable. So you need to be very realistic and think through each of those steps as you're getting ready to create your goal. The next thing, relative. Relative to you. You're setting the goal. It's got to mean something to you, not to anybody else. If you are working towards, again, saving money, maybe you are going to buy that house. But you have other things that are coming up in your life right now. Is it something that's relative to what you're doing right now that you can actually achieve that? And it has to match your why. If you're not full in to committing to completing your goal, and it's not relative to you and it doesn't speak to your heart, to your mind, to your thoughts, it's probably not something you're going to achieve. So make sure that your goal is relative to you, your time frame, and what you want to actually accomplish. The last one is T, time sensitive. Give yourself an amount of time that you want to accomplish this goal. Is it in a year? Is it 2 years, 5 years, 3 months, 2 weeks? What goal is it that you want to accomplish in a certain amount of time? So you put those all together, specific, measurable, achievable, relative, and time sensitive. You're going to find a goal that's going to fit your why. It's super, super important that you know why you're doing it. Because if you don't believe that you can achieve it and you don't have a very strong why to back up when you hit those bumps in the road, because trust me, you will. You're going to want to make sure that you have a very strong why, that you put it out there in front of you, maybe even create a vision board that will put it front and center for you to be able to see every single day so that you know what you're wanting to reach and why you want to get there. So you've set the goal. Let's talk about action steps. Every month leading up to your goal, let's say your goal is something you want to achieve over a year's time. every month leading up, you want to take bite-sized chunks out of that goal. If you want to save money, maybe you can save $100 a month. Bite-sized chunks. Out of each paycheck, I want to save $50. Let's say you get paid twice a month. $50 I want to save here, $50 I want to save there. That is an action step. It's broken down. It's bite-sized. It's not overwhelming. Yeah, maybe at the end of the month, you want to have saved $1,200. But right now, it's $50 at each little piece. Maybe something happens in the middle of February and you have to dip into your savings and you need to rethink what you're going to do. Then you go back, you reevaluate. Maybe this month you only save 25. Maybe you're able to save 75 the month after that. Just give yourself some time to make sure that as you're creating action steps, that you can go back and create some flexibility in there. Not flexibility to where you don't achieve your major goal, but flexibility to know that life happens and you are allowed when things get rough or it gets a little bit difficult, that you can actually take a step back, reevaluate all of the things that you have going on in your life and think about how you can get to that goal in the time frame that you've set with maybe a little bit of adjustment. But you can't do that if you just set the goal and then never think about it again. You have to really look at each goal individually, break it down in little pieces, and then work through those pieces. That might include every week doing a to-do list and marking off the things that are important to that end goal in mind. Maybe you need to start by doing a brain drop box, right? Where you take everything in your head and you get it onto a piece of paper and then you start sorting through all of your thoughts and pieces and make sure that you've got all of the things in place so that you can start working towards that goal. Then you want to start piecing those things into your weekly and your monthly goal setting and prospecting and sales strategy or whatever it is that you're working on so that you can do that. One way that I absolutely love to think about goal setting is I love to see things visually. Okay, so I'm actually going to take a few minutes to walk you through a fun insert that you can use that is not for the norm. So let's take a look. This, friends, is a quote bubbles insert. I'm sure you've probably seen it around. The quote bubbles can be used for so many things. You can use it for writing down the darndest things your kids say, because who has kids? Yes, probably a lot of us, and they probably say some pretty interesting things, but it's a great way to keep memories. You can also just write quotes in there to remember. You can use them for positive affirmations, but for this video and purpose, I'm going to show you how you can use them to set goals. All right, remember I said this is direct sales or business related. You can see that on the first page here, I have 3 different blocks. The first one says November 2021, then it says December 2020, and then it says December 2021 goals. When you are breaking down your goals for each month, it's a good way to think about where you've been in the past, such as the month you just came out of, where you've been way further in the past, a year ago, how much growth have you made in a year? Comparing these 2 numbers and what you want to accomplish for the next month is a great way to be able to think about what personal volume you want to accomplish, how many parties do you want to do, how many customer sales do you want to have, what's the average dollar amount for sales. If you're looking at things that you've done in the past, how have you grown? Okay, how can you adjust that number to make it so that you are growing, continuing to grow, but also being realistic in what you have achieved? Granted, if we look here, your November 2021 goals are probably going to be slightly larger than your December 2020 goals. And the reason why that would be because we just came off a really strong month, or you might have, depending on what you're working on. And then you have probably also worked through some things where you've changed some things in your business and you've grown. Maybe you have a team now and you're doing different trainings, or you're part of a training group, or you have a personal coach. All things that you need to keep in mind when you're getting ready to set your goals. But always looking back and reflecting on what you've done in the past is something that should be really important in goal setting. The next one over here in this corner is it says, my goals, good, better, best. If you follow Brenda Stir at #EmpowerSocial, she talks so much about being sure that we set a good goal, a better goal, and a best goal. A good goal is something that you gets you qualified for the month, something you've done before, something that pushes you but doesn't make you feel super uncomfortable. A better goal is something that pushes you past your comfort zone where you have probably may or may not have been before, or you've done once or twice in the past and you want to do it again. And your best goal is really pushing through those barriers that might be holding you back, so that you can find content and being able to reach those things that are going to make you a better person, a better salesperson, a better team leader, and somebody that is sharing value of your product. I've added in some fun goals. If you don't wake up with some goals, then go back to sleep. Friends, there's some fun little ways that you can put quotes in there. If you are with a Tula 12, or if you're watching this as one of my teammates, then this part at the bottom will probably make sense to you. What is your monthly content focus? We talk about in our group making sure that each week we have a focus of some kind, whether it's an insert or a product of some nature that's going to help bring value to our customers. You can do that just as easily with your own product if you are watching this video for a different purpose. The next page is kind of just throwing out some fun creativity. This is the way that I like to goal plan. I just have some fun quotes in here. I think goals should never be easy. They should force you to work even if they are uncomfortable at the time. Very, very true. That was said by Michael Phelps. Again, a reminder of what a SMART goal is: specific, measurable, achievable, relative, and time sensitive. And then right here, BSHG, that's big, scary, hairy goal. This would be a place where you're going to write that goal and keep track of it so that you know all the things that you're wanting to work for. Nothing is impossible. The word itself says, I'm possible. Audrey Hepburn said that quote, and I think it's super important that you realize that it might be hard, it might be difficult, but somebody has done it somewhere. Or even if you're the first person to do it, it does not mean that it is impossible for you to accomplish. And then the next little bubble here I have is action steps. So you can see this is a fun visual way that you can actually write out your goals each month, give yourself some visual clarity so you can see it on paper, and then put it in your planner that goes with your business or whatever it is that you're working on, and visit it regularly so that you can check in and make sure that you are still working towards those goals. I hope this has been helpful for you guys and that you really take some time to set your 2022 goals so you get ready to crush the new year. Hope you guys have a fantastic day. Bye, friends.